Perfect. Okay, so today we're gonna go over, well, Brian is gonna go over a bit the MVC, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then Brian and Victoria are going to present on the application controller pattern and kind of enlighten us, going hopefully a bit more depth on
Yes.
that subject. So, Brian, why don't you start us off with the MVC?
Okay, let's see. Hmm. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes.
In a little bit.
Okay. So first, the MVC is like where you have like your code or your app, and you separate your code into different things like model, view, and a controller. So you have the view, which is what the user can see or what is displaying. Then the controller is you don't see what it's doing. It's like hidden somewhere, but it's doing everything. So the model, it's where all the data is saved. So whatever is the user inputs, that data is saved into the model that will be used in the controller later to do something with that data. So I have a simple app here that is like, so I'll show you first. So this is the view, so what it will look like. I have a couple of text fields and labels. So the app will have a text field where the user will enter like the name of a city and a button that says search for its zip code. So when you click the button or the user clicks the button, it will get that zip code and displays that in the window. So I have a listener for my button down here and a method that will get the city, I mean the zip code, and change it to a string to be able to display it. So in my model here, I have my default constructor. Then I create an array list that will store all the input numbers from the view, which are inputted from the user. Then I save those city names from the view into that array list. So here I have the name of that array list and then add, and I call a city. So that's what it will
Yeah.
do. Then this one, let's do this. It will get the data from that array list. So we'll just return that array list, whatever it's inside. So I also created a hash map that will, I just added a couple of names of the cities and for the keys and the values, their zip codes. And then we'll just return all that data whenever it's needed in the controller. So here I have the controller. So the controller will never talk to the model, or it will never do that backwards either. So the middle communicator would be the view. So since it doesn't communicate with the model, I have to make a reference. So here I have my two reference for the view and the model because they never talk to each other. So the controller never talks to the model or the view. So here I have my constructor that will create the model, the view, and my listener for the button. And then here my default constructor. So here's what the button is doing. So that's the action of my button that will get me that data. So I call with the data is saved from the model because it's in the model, and it get cities, which is my method in the view, and here get set the zip code, which is in the view, and this is tell them that I want the zip code for that. So every time you click the button, it's doing all that. So here, down here, I have my get zip code method. So I again created another array list because I don't want to use it in my model. I can't. So I have to get like a reference or copy that same data into this new array list. And I have like another variable here, local, that will get me the first in city or first item in the array list. And same here, I have another hash map that contains the same data that I have in my model, which is where all the data is saved. So here in my catch and try, so I have all the the logic. If the name of the city from the user input matches one in my database hash map, so we'll get it and turn it into a string, so I can send it to the view later. And if it's not there, it doesn't match, it just displays that message, no match found. So at the end of that, I want to clear all the data and just give the first two numbers. So I call this method clear array data, which is down here. So I have a call for that array list and use the clear data method, which is already there for us to use. So that clears all the data used already and will only keep the first two numbers. So here I have the actual app. So you have the reference from the model on the view here. I created a new view and set it to true so that the user can see that, and my model, and then the controller. And for the controller, you have to pass the view and the model. So when you run it, let's see, if you put like, I don't know, Bravo, and do this, it will display a zip code for that. As long as you do something that it write a name that is inside the hash map, because if I write like maybe Houston and it's not there because I don't have it, it will say no match found. Do you have any questions?
No. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Maybe right now you can explain, like, if you understand the difference between application control pattern and MVC.
I read that it's almost the same thing.
Yes,
but
it's what
the application controller doesn't have a lot inside the code, so you have a let me show you. Let's see. Have better. I'll share my whole screen.
Okay.
So here I found like an example, but I don't like it a lot. But you have your main class, your public class, and you have a method inside, and you have to pass a couple of parameters or things, but you don't have anything else down there. So you have like an empty method for the application controller. And it's like the interface, but you don't have really much code for that. But for the MVC, the controller is doing everything. This is just the interface, but I think for the application controller, you can have like a type of controller that will allow you to do like separate each thing that maybe your app one is doing, so you don't have like duplicates of your same code or writing like a really long code. I think that's the difference, but I still don't understand it a lot for the application controller.
And maybe Brother Larson can help us better understand it on Thursday.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because I was studying about the application control pattern, and it reminds me about the MVC. So
yeah,
as we know, the MVC has like it's a model, view, and controller are separate. So
yeah,
I'm just wondering what the specific difference between of the control part in MVC.
yeah. Because when I look for that, it will always get me to MVC anywhere I look.
Exactly.
So I can't really find an exact example for that without MVC.
Yes. True. So I guess it is time to share about the application pattern.
Yeah.
I can start if you want. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I will share my screen. So, do you see my screen?
Nope. It's black.
It's black.
Okay. Okay. It's still black?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Oh,
Do you see
there we
my
go.
screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So first, what I want to say it is that the application control pattern is used to centralize, handle screen navigation, the flow of an application, and invocation of request processing components such as commands and views. It gives us two benefits. It improves extensibility and improves the separation of concerns. Where can we use it? We can apply control logic or have centralized view management. And as I understand, there are different variations of implementation of this development method. However, the general idea is that you have the main program with the code, and then you have a separate class as a part of the package that is responsible for the controlling and switching to of the application. Usually this is done in views for the menus or application. Basically, in the application code, you create different views based on where the user would navigate and what conditions apply to take them there, and then code the application controller, switch the application to each respective view based on where the user should be at the point. And I have a very simple code. Actually, we can separate those functions and have like different classes of class, multiply, division, and subtraction. Sorry. So my application control pattern example. Multiply, divide, I don't know, plus, and subtract numbers. So here we have a private static buffer reader. It is static because it will not work inside the main method. So like static content only work with static. So we have the reader what can access help us numbers and strings from the keyboard. Also here I have integers and the string what I called function. And here the user can read the first number from the keyboard, and here the user to enter the function. It could be plus, again I forget that, never mind, multiply or divide. And here we are reading that chosen function, and here we are reading the second number. And as we see, if the user will he will have his and if he will type multiply, has another result, and of course we can use functions in yes, like I mean we can reuse it, and we can show you how it works. Sorry, one more time. I don't like to wait. My computer helps me to be patient. Four more seconds. Sorry again. Сам собираюсь, я склад. Все, пока. Friends, they like to call me when I'm meeting. So, enter your first number. Give me the number.
7.
Brian.
7.
Yeah. It's typing. Oh, come on, work. It's stuck. Yeah. Okay, couple more seconds. Greg, tell me the chosen function.
Add or addition.
Add. Okay, addition. So, and I will type another. Let's type 10. And as you see, our result is 17. So I have the nasty path. I don't like, it's hard for me to give an example of the nasty path, since as I understand that application controller pattern helps to control and like to control the code from the main. So I will think more about the nasty path, and I hope that Brother Larson will explain us more about the difference between MVC and application controller pattern. Any comments? Feel that you need to say about my class or the function?
No.
I think once we have a better idea, we'll be able to make our code show that we know what we're talking about. Once you have a better idea.
Share my screen again.
Oh, no, I'm just saying once we speak with Brother Larson, we'll have a better idea of how we can implement the application controller pattern.
Yeah, I see.
One thing we are going to want to think about is an application we're going to build together.
Yeah.
This class does require that we have an app, I believe.
As I understand, we will create our own application at the end of semester, or maybe at the middle of our semester.
Yes, I believe so. Brian, what do you think? Is it individual or is it as a group?
I think it could be either one, but we won't be able to do any app, either individual or a group. We'll have to at least start it and have all the UML diagrams for either one, and at least have a couple of examples. But we will never be able to do an app. That's what we've been told before. Yeah.
As I understand, it's better to have a group work, since in the real world, usually people are working in teams. It is also the reason why we are using Kanban, because it's like kind of a group work, and we are helping each other. We are showing the process and the progress.
The other problem with doing a group app is that for the UML, we can't do the same thing, like going fluency for the same exact thing.
Right.
Just one person can do that. So I don't know how. Maybe
we we can ask Brother Larson on
Yes.
Thursday.
We should type a question in our meeting notes.
Yep.
So we'll not forget about it. Brian, if you want, you can say a couple things about my program. If you have comments.
I don't, because I really don't understand how to use that.
Okay. It's okay. I wish I can have the grasp the idea, because I had the same problem when I was researching about the application control pattern. Usually when I was reading, then it is kind of about the MVC, or it relates to the.
Like, for example, I found something, but I still don't understand everything, or how to make an example for that. But it says, this is to some degree, the various model view controller input controllers can make some of these decisions. Like, well, I'll share my screen instead.
Okay, let's do that.
You can read it. Let's see.
I will be right back. Sorry, one second.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So here it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's almost the same what I have read today.
So it's talking
As
about.
I understand that, like, we have different, I can say, layers. Like, we are separate them, like the model and the view and the controller, because we don't want to have the duplicated code.
Yeah, but it says at the same time, the model view controller doesn't do that if we have like a really more complex application. So if you had more things that it can do, it will be more confusing, and maybe you will have to have a different controller for each thing, or I mean just one. But I still don't know, because still the controller is doing everything in the app.
Yeah. So since Greg is outside of our meeting right now, we can talk quite a bit about the MVC, or about the application controller pattern.
So I just read it like you probably would want to have more controllers when you have more than one screen, because yeah, I can't see that we can have like the same code every time you have more than one screen.
Yeah.
So maybe we would need to have something different for each screen.
And actually, we can have different users what are, like, for example, are using our program, so they can type different information. So the
Yeah, so it's like could be like a game where each screen is at different level, maybe something like that.
sorry. My window doesn't respond. Oh. To wait. So.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So here I found something for the application controller. So it's saying that maybe if we have more than one screen, we would need to have a controller for each window or each screen, so we don't have duplicated code for the same thing every time we have a different screen.
Okay, so an application controller can be for a specific part of the program or a screen.
Yeah, because if you have, like an example, you have a game with different screens, you might have the same exact code, like for maybe if each level of a game is a screen, you will have the exact code in your controller, and you don't want to do that.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. That helps. I think that Brother Larson should be able to shed some light and make it easier for us to understand, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Ryan, do you have some code to share with us for today? About the application control pattern.
I don't really have much because, like, where you see the bug with doing more with Java, so I try to find. No, it's not that. So these examples are really simple, like this one. You just have the class and your method, but it's not doing anything because it's the interface. I think that's something like that. But he has handlers in the other examples. So, but that's more like talking about handlers. That is doing something for that specific thing it's handling. Maybe you will need a handler for that.
Yes, I think so.
Then that would make sense to have like a controller with just one handler for one thing.
Probably for my example, I need to create a handler in a separate class.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I just don't want to get into the other stuff because that's other topics that we haven't seen yet.
Right. Yeah, the one on the bottom right's the example there implements JSON.
Yeah.
The QC JSON that we haven't even talked about yet. So.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about handlers.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, today is pretty short. Hopefully on Thursday we can get a little more information on the application controller pattern and the difference between that and the MVC.
Yeah.
So I guess, should we finish up and just go over what we want to do next time?
Yeah.
We can. We just need to make some notes for Wednesday. So, and we can finish our meeting for today.
So let's go with, I kind of wrote down a couple notes already.
Good.
Victoria present on Java Beans. And then Greg and Victoria present on MVC. Is there anything else that we wanted to go over on Wednesday?
Probably not.
No.
Okay.
If I will think about, like, if the idea will come in my mind, let's say like that, I will write down and let you know.
Okay.
For now, I don't see anything that we need to add.
Okay. As for Thursday night, these are so far the questions we have that we want to ask Brother Larson. How is the application controller pattern different from the MVC?
Exactly.
Is he making any recordings that we can review? And then are we creating an application as a group or individual or both? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Does this sound good?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okie dokie. Then let's, I'm going to move this here for now.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by Friday, let's plan on Friday as being our day where we want to claim proficiency or fluency.
Yeah.
And then we'll be claiming fluency on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these topics.
Yeah. On 5, I mean,
3.
because Brian and me will work on.
That's right. On QC Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we can. So.
Okay.
5.
Sounds good.
Let's plan that. Yeah. See. So we'll have a great day and see you on Wednesday.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
See you guys.
See ya.